Okay, so little Temur tempo. This deck's got a couple of cantrips in it, chat. We've got Abundant Harvest, which I honestly think is probably the best 1-mana cantrip in this format. Best cheap 1-mana card selection. Just very powerful card. Always gets you a land. Always gets you a spell. We got some Brainstorms here, and Brainstorm we have plenty of ways to clear in this deck, so it seems very reasonable. Abundant Harvest technically clears a Brainstorm. You could like put 2 lands back, name spell, clear past them. We could shuffle with Fabled Passage. We could scry to the bottom with Stormwing Entity. Our payoffs for having so many cheap spells here are Dorat the Perfect Pet, as well as Dreadhorde Arcanist flashing some things back here. Because we're in Temur, we get to play Klothys, which I think is just an excellent threat in this format right now. Main deckable Graveyard Hate, consistent source of damage that's resilient to your opponent's pieces of interaction. We've got some Borrowers and some Bonecrushers for a little bit of Eldraine sprinkled in. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this one and see how it feels this afternoon. Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Abundant Harvest is like a properly designed once upon a time. Mercadian Merchant, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. For folks that are new, you're enjoying the selection of sweet historic decks we've been playing today. I'm here Monday through Friday. Usually do 3 or 4 different decks every single day of the week. I also have a wonderful website where I keep a repository of historic decks readily updated there. You can easily search by archetype, by power level, by color. Great resource if you're getting into the format and looking for sweet things to play. Oh, the Gandalf's Toolboxer. Afternoon Fury and Baitaka. So, I think I'm just doing this. It's my favorite historic deck to play. I'm partial to Dead Guy Ale. My personal favorite thing that's up on the site. Kind of getting through our shock here. Technically a 1-for-1 only because they drew a card with that. You know, I think I'm in a perfect bet here to start. The next turn, we can Brainstorm, clear the Brainstorm with Stormwing Entity. Some counters on things. Brazen Borrowing this, quite possibly. Another shock here was our actual factual best draw. I can put these back. And then we can fetch, bounce this, and then when they go to attach something to it after recasting it next turn, I can shock it. Save you from that one. Brazen Borrower is very good in this matchup. you know, just one of the reasons why the opponent's archetype is so good, though, right? Like, they are just like in no danger of running out at this point. All right, do we harvest into Stormwing Entity then? I think that's the play. Like, go harvest into Entity here. Attack for 5. I could harvest for a land and hope to spike. I could harvest for a land and hope to find a blue source or a green source. Or I need to be blue. I did just add a bunch of tapped lands to my deck, though, because I have a bunch of fast lands. I think I'm supposed to non-land here because my deck has so many fast lands in it. I think everything worked out better than expected, chat. Trust at the heart of the Eldraine. I mean, to be fair, Abundant Harvest is the one that pulled that out. Siseo, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. I can appreciate you, opponent. I can appreciate you. I do feel 3 damage sweeper is good enough. I'm probably going to cut Pyromancer or something else, so I haven't felt, I don't know what would help us in the Gandalf matchups. Honestly, having more answers to Teferi is probably pretty good there, Zach. I could see playing more copies of Fry, because Fry kills their Archons in the green-white matchup as well, and I feel like keeping Archon off the table is primarily what you want to do. Fighting over their Planeswalker threats is probably the right axis to be interacting on. This is a Klothys matchup. I feel like this is not a Klothys matchup. You feel about just like Abrades? I think I just want all Doomblades on deck for this one, huh? Maybe leave one Klothys in over one Memory Lapse. Seems fine. You pull Arcanist out? Really? I guess Arcanist has a hard time attacking, huh? That's fair. Leave like a cheeky Lapse in. I don't hate that suggestion. Siamese, thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Sure. The Sand has some options for its first turn play. Stop it! Bad Spirit Dancer. Grab a forest here, so if we draw an untapped land, we can go grow through the Stormwing. just pass with the Lapse up here? Yeah, the season's ending in like 45 minutes. And I think we bottom the Lapse, or get rid of the Lapse at this point. Just want cards to play to the board. So this is still gonna die to Myers Grasp, but I'm killing it in response, because I don't want them to draw a second card with the core. Hey, Bunga, thanks for the 15 months. Welcome back. Yes? Yes. Okay. This deck doesn't do a big cool thing, but it does a lot of little cool things to decks that I hate. What a great summary. These are a few of my favorite things. We've got triple blue here, so we get to like bounce and borrower here. 2 Ravagers you're missing from the Grixis list. Gonti is a 4 mana card engine value card. Well, I think my Stormwing entities are going to work off their punishment this time through, chat. When Heliod is punishing you, there is no prowess, chat. Are we tempoing their Luris, or are we tempoing the Heliods? I think we have to tempo the Heliods, right? That's nice. Correct. When I cast my spell on the stack, this does not have prowess because Heliod's punishment is on it, removing prowess. Hey, I have an answer for this. Their deck plays a lot of removal. God damn it, Heliod! Alright, can I have my 4th Brazen Borrower, please? Yeah, we're gonna lose this race. Man. Got all of our idiots sitting in timeout in the corner. Stupid Luris. I think I'm happy with my lines that game. It's just, you know, that's what it is. I'll put another Memory Lapse in on the play. I'm not sure I'm convinced that Klothys is where I want to be. I mean, to be fair, it was Luris that won that game more than the punishments. Letting them get their threat back up out of the bin. Seems pretty good. Fetch my mountain right away. Oh no! Oh no, I misclicked. I Caker timed out Sun back, which caused my chat to move, and then I hit Caker after my chat moved. Deal. Okay, so I'm gonna go Abrade Forest. We'll top the forest. I'll opt bottom the forest, draw the Abrade. Okay. Not a perfect Brainstorm clear, but better than a lock at least. Drawing Luris is their play for the turn. That's so good for us. Is it too aggro to shock them and play Stormwing? I feel like it's an appropriate amount of aggro. Crunch. Get it out of here. One Eldraine, please. Definitely felt a little play drawn skewed. 98%. Chat, we're gonna have to concede more matches here. I don't want to end up being a number by mistake. Too many good decks at the end of the set, end of the season. We did win at the end there. I mean, I don't really want to play in a standard qualifier weekend. And if I wanted to qualify, I'd just play an SCG tournament. The SCG tournaments are way less stress than the ladder. I don't know. If I wanted to qualify, I think we'd be like 6 or 7 less concessions this season. So it's like, we'd probably be in easily. Remember, if you're someone who's stressing out about your ladder rank and you miss, going 5-1 in an SCG tournament gets you the same thing as top 1200 on the ladder. It's just like, just go play the $7 SCG tournament. And going 5-1 in there qualifies you for a 5K tournament. So it like gives you the same thing as the ladder and something else. Yeah, there's eight of them every weekend. So you have a ton of chances. Yeah, they're arena tournaments, so you can check them out on MTG Melee. They'll be running today and tomorrow, and then they're 5Ks on Sunday. Dear SCG, you don't sponsor my stream, but I wouldn't hate a free entry or two for plugging your stuff. I might play in one of their things this weekend. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I gotta talk to the wife and find out what our plans are. No super firm plans at the moment. They're missing a land. That's so good for us. I think we're going Stormwing Entity here. Thanks for the follow, Clama. Clama-lama ding-dong. This is double bottoms, huh? I don't have any spells to put them up. Ooh, Klothys is about to punch the clock and go to work here, chat. She's real good. I stream MLB the show. I have no idea what that is. Those words do not English for me. It's a sports game. No, I don't do sports. Above average turn for the opponent, chat. There's a chance Klothys isn't gonna be enough here. Small possibility that Klothys isn't gonna be enough. But they have cleave. I have memory lapse, so not anymore. I don't think I'm supposed to block with these. If I hit like a decent chain of cantrips next turn, we could kill them, right? I think I just leave this back. I'm gonna take 5 here, down to 12. Why would you attack with Fervent Champion? Weird. I have to chump block, unfortunately. Because they have cleave. I mean, they're replacing whatever I'm blocking regardless. Okay. This Klothys might drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. She's trying her darndest, chat. Employee of the month right here. Is that lethal? It's pretty close. It might as well be, right? Because it means I have to trade. I'd say gamer nerds being upset by hot tub streams existing on Twitch was one of the most surprising things to me about 2021, but it's actually not surprising at all because of the types of people gamers often tend to be. So just like, be better. Here's a pro tip. If there's content on the internet that you don't enjoy, don't watch it. There's no need to complain about it. If that content isn't breaking the law or causing unconsensual harm, don't worry about it. Just ignore it. All right. I think some borrowers probably come out here. It's probably like 2 borrowers to 2 cantrips. How much for a Jeff hot tub stream? Listen, chat, I put my nipples on the internet one time, and one time's enough, okay? You haven't seen that picture, you can search it out on Twitter. I'd say I'd put it on stream, but that's against the terms of service. One time is forever. Yeah. And it's a picture from when I was like 19 or 20. So like I look reasonable in it. It was pre-kids in the dad bod. You think Fry is okay to add Dip Visit? Yeah, it's probably fine. 6-mana Chandra is not a terrible suggestion. I like 2 Fry though, Zach. Huh? What if we Arcanist here and like get aggressive? We like next turn go like pet, harvest, flashback harvest. No blocks. Oh, if this is the right line here. I think it probably works because we're on the play. We'll see. Kari Zev's a lot of power. Crash on in, Daddy. Yeah, we're doing it in a fine position to win this race, right? Because I get to go Abrade, you step on Crasher, attack you for 6 here. Not blocking with this, might as well attack for 1, and then next turn I get to go Brainstorm, Abrade. Maybe cast another 2-mana spell in the middle as well. Pretty sure they have Bonecrusher, yeah. Let's start here and see where we end up at. It's like pretty close to lethal, right? Then I probably want to hold this back so I don't die by mistake. Something silly. 1 extra point of damage doesn't really matter here. I guess it would be 2 extra points, so it'd be 1+1. We're like 1 point short of lethal. Is there a clip of the rant comparing sideboards to multi-deck formats somewhere? I mean, I don't know that I've really would describe what I've talked about that as a rant, as much as just being descriptive. Aren't they dead in the air? If we stomp face, flashback, brainstorm. Quite possibly. I think you are correct. I mean, for the record, I don't think multi-deck versus sideboard formats are strictly better, strictly worse comparisons. I think for me personally, I greatly prefer sideboards, but I think there's definitely subsets of the population that that's not true for. So it's okay to like different things. Huh? I think this is supposed to be a mulligan. Is it? My mana doesn't hurt me. So, like, this hand doesn't have a shock in it, but, like, not every hand can have shock or Bonecrusher Giant, and honestly, all 3 colors without taking damage has a really high upside. Multi-deck Historic just sounds awful. I have zero desire to play multi-deck Magic. Nailed it. This is the part where they play like 4 Burning Tree Emissaries, so they didn't have a play on 1. Just Robber of the Rich. So good for us, chat. They stole my Klothys. Yikes. Oh yeah, from an economy perspective, just straight out the window. I think questions like that aren't really worth answering because I would never be invited, so it doesn't matter. I can't even get Wizards of the Coast to give me gems to give away for my Hoglandia opens, much less have them invite me to something that they run as an official event. I think we harvest into Stormwing here, huh? I think I'm in for a land, and if they attack me with this, they get a land, so that's fine. Croakies is someone who's been invited to things in the past, yeah. Like, he was in the early access events before those got canned. I think I'm okay trading this for this plus a stomp. Doesn't feel good, but it's where I'm at in my life. It's not the land I wanted for Christmas. Okay, that'll do, pig. I think I plan to just bounce this turn. Well, I mean, to be fair, not everybody that Wizards doesn't give stuff to is people they dislike. Like, there's a lot of people that make Magic content. Like, a lot of people. It's a big game. So I think it's probably a bad assumption that just because they don't give someone stuff that they dislike them. I mean, and for the record, I've talked about this before, and I would bet the professor would agree with me. I actually think that giving Magic set preview cards to large Magic creators is a waste of a preview. Magic set previews should be given to large creators from non-Magic games and smaller Magic creators. Giving Magic set previews to large creators from non-Magic games serves to potentially bring new people into Magic, and giving set previews to smaller creators inside of Magic already gives a chance for smaller creators to get discovered. Actually, I actually think, for the record, that giving, like, even if they wanted to give one to someone like me, I think it's a spew for them to do so. It's not an efficient use of resources. Alright, I think I'm putting these back, and then I'm gonna play Stormwing, scry them to the bottom, and then we can Abundant Harvest here. Now, I think I want to get Stormwing down. And then Abrade. Nice. I mean, based on what I just said there, right? Like, the Mr. Beast collab was great. Like, for the reasons I just said. God, that card's such a beating. Need another Brazen Borrower. Oh, again. For using these aggressively like I did. I mean, I guess I'm killing my own Stormwing Entity here, right? I guess I can do this first and see if I hit a Borrower before I do it. It's probably the play. This is going to have to attack again next turn, but even if it runs into something like an Annex, it's at least going to get to draw another card, and then I can play these post-combat. I unfortunately can't play them pre-combat, because if I play them pre-combat, they have to attack. And if they attack into this, if they attack, they'll die next turn. Do we Brainstorm here? Or do we Abundant Harvest? My hand's, like, not great. I think we Brainstorm. We can also get locked under this, I suppose, though. Nice. Okay, so... we'll put this back. Oh, actually, I can put both of these back and then scry them to the bottom, right? Is that better than keeping a land so that way I can borrow? Because I have 6 lands to be 7, so I could go Stormwing, Dorat, Borrower. No, I'm not scrying with the castle, that's awful. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so this is gonna die. Like, I guess if I fetched these away before I scryed, I could scry a decent card to the top. Yeah, it's better to fetch and then Stormwing there. That's what I should have done. Yeah, I don't think we can beat that. Pretty unfortunate. Have to draw, like, exactly Brazen Borrower, and even then, probably not. This card's just so brutal for the creature decks. It's a card I'm glad doesn't see a lot of play in Historic. That was a card that, whenever it got cast against me in Standard, it just felt abysmal. It was unfortunate that we had to use our Brazen Borrowers early that game to stay alive, and then that card came down and just beat us up. Blade, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Good afternoon. Well, Uro was a mythic, right? If I recall correctly. Opponent looking to take some turns here, maybe? Could also be, like a flash deck, maybe, with Jawari Disruption. Could be Sultai Ultimatum, too, I suppose. Not a ton of Explore decks in the format anymore, honestly. Oh man, clear your Brainstorm. Slick. Oh, we had 3 of our 6 tapped lands already, chat. Just hoping for an untapped one there. I have to imagine whatever they're doing, we're gonna be too slow, not being able to get a threat down this turn. Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Where were you last turn, Spirebluff Canal? Nobody needs you now. The world needed them. Spirebluff Canal was nowhere to be found. Yep. They control deck? Might be some kind of weird flash amalgamation. Explorer is kind of weird though. Yeah, could still be Sultimatum. I mean, like, the answer to that question is objectively yes, Skindy. Like that's not even a subjective question. Giving player agency makes things feel less bad. Yes. Akra and LH, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Read chittering rats. Gross. Let's see, it feels like a weird inclusion if they're not a Yorion deck. I mean, that's basically what Rogues does, right? Rogues memory lapses you and then... mills your stuff. I think Isochron Scepter is a card that we find to add to the format. I don't know if it's one that's like on their radar, but... I mean, Memory Lapse definitely feels worse than Remand. It's not close. Sure. Back to negation resolves. Oh my god, we're getting Tainted Pact. Ugh. Ugh. Wow. Brutal. I don't want them to make them click through their deck, but I also can't just say hand me your deck so I can look at it. So I would like to see every card in their deck, so I'm gonna make them click. We're dead. I just have to make them go through it if I want to see their deck. Yeah, that's also true. This card could technically be a make them draw card. So if they leave 2 cards in their deck, we could bounce the Oracle. Nah, Sultai variations have been going around. The pack deck is blue-black splash X third color. I should obviously, if I knew they were a pack deck, we're trying to figure out what they were doing. I should have Bonecrushered them on my turn. We win the game if I stomp at sorcery speed, because they can't pact us and then also do all this stuff. Yeah, so even if you, yeah, like this is a good one to know about. Even if you bounce this in response, their deck has 0 cards, so we lose. They have a second Oracle, so you could have bounced it and stopped the mill. That's not how that card works at all, Vantrix. I mean, something doesn't work the way you think it works. I would encourage you to read all of the cards involved. Probably just these random pieces of burn, huh? I think Ceratops is better than this. Yeah, it's if you exile 2 of the same card, not have them in hand. Hey, thanks, Ewok. Yeah, it took some hours to get put together, but I'm really happy with the final result. Feels like ended up real nice. Like, shout out to SH Pelly in the subs Discord and chat, helping me wrangle WordPress into something nice. I put all that together myself in terms of WordPress stuff, and he's been giving me a hand with figuring out some details I didn't know offhand. Oh, do we leave Negate in the sideboard? I would look, but this is bugged. Yeah, there's totally Negates. And Negate should be in my deck. Just gonna fetch my mountain now and get my auto pass value. So, had I known what deck our opponent was playing, and this is again like when you're thinking about testing and like ladder versus tournaments, if I know our opponent's playing Tainted Pack, we win that first game 100% of the time because I stomp on my turn, knowing what there is to be playing around. But because we had no idea if they were like Sultai Ultimatum or like 100 other things, we got bunked. I don't think they have anything I could want to dispute here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get max damage in. You know what? Am I dead? We're dead. Good shit. I don't know that archetype is too good, but I definitely think if that deck's allowed to be legal, Winota should be legal. I think their archetype is, I think there's a good, if there's anything from the Mystical Archives that is too good, it's definitely Tainted Pack. Obviously, I could sit there and never tap out and lose a slower game, but like, it generally speaking is correct to put your pressure into play and hope they don't have it right on turn 4. So, I know it feels bad to lose a game like that where they had it and we died, but I don't think that, I don't think, it doesn't make my decision to make them have it wrong. Yeah, Field of the Dead too. When people complain about Field of the Dead, like its power level is much lower. It's very similar to Inverter. It's Inverter, except it has like the one upside to it versus Inverter is at least they have to play a singleton deck for their deck to work. So like they're slightly less consistent than they'd otherwise be. But yeah, very, very similar to Inverter that there's very little counterplay offered. I mean, to be fair, Wind Maggots, if you haven't played with or against their deck before, they have 2 copies of each of their combo cards. They run a ton of tutors, so their odds of turn 4ing you are actually a lot higher than your gut tells you it is. It's like not that unreasonable. I'm gonna keep this, because my plan is, like, play Klothys tap land next turn, and then we have this the following turn. Is Test of Talents a viable answer to Pact? I mean, chat, like, counter spells are good against their deck, so, like, narrow specific answers, like, counter spells and discard spells are fine. Should you play Test of Talents? No, you should not put a shit card in your deck. Negate is a great card, Mystic Dispute, stuff like that. The problem is, again, generally speaking, it's game theory optimal against deck like those to tap out to put pressure into play the first couple of turns. You will, while you're going to lose some games like that one we just lost because I tapped out on turn 4, you're also going to lose a lot of other games where you just like hold up mana constantly to them eventually making land drops and then comboing you with counterspell backup themselves. Yeah, mono red twice today is definitely some end of ladder stuff for sure. Big agree. Yeah, they also have Pact in their sideboard, so Test of Talents doesn't guaranteed beat them, is accurate. Okay, so I think we're playing Dorat on defense. Klothys is a brick house, for sure. All right, wait, so can I kill them? So this is 7. Flashing back a shock is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right, they're dead. We go put this back, put this back. No, wait, sorry, not like that. Put this back, put this back. And then we stack it so I draw Brainstorm with this. I'm gonna cast Shock with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, chat. Oh yeah, we're two over actually, right? Yeah, because the shock is the shock is 4. Do it for good measure. Starts pretty good, chat. Pretty good. Yes, there were a few ways to eat that Reese's there. This is how we boarded last time. I think it's about correct. Have a good one, Turtle Man. Thanks for dropping in today. Yeah, these cheap Abundant Harvest tempo decks have been good. Honestly, I like decks like this a lot better than the Phoenix decks that we've played. Ascian's excellent. Missing a color, obviously, but Shock into Stomp into Bonecrusher guaranteed is fantastic here. How long till you don't have a boot next to your name? You get a training sword at 6 months. So you can prepare for your knighthood. Nice, nice. See if they got a lightning strike here to murder our boy. It's your boy, Dreadhorde Arcanist. Read. Don't be mean to the foot soldier, Zap. a little windy in here. But they have another one, or if they're trying to draw land. Nice, nice. I was building Temur Phoenix and it turned into this, which I like more. Yeah, I've been pretty underwhelmed by Phoenix decks in this format, so that doesn't surprise me. I'm gonna take 1 damage here to get a counter on here. Phoenix feels like Death Shadow. See, I disagree with you. I actually really like Death Shadow. We played Black-White Shadow on stream yesterday, and it was great. I think Shadow is a card people aren't playing enough of, while Phoenix is a card people are playing too much of. How many basics are in this deck? Is it 4? Someone tell me it's 4, and if it's actually only 4, lie to me. I think it's only 4. It's exactly 4. That's unfortunate. It means we can't scry with the castle. There's 3. Stop it. I'm finding Temur Flash a bit bricky or flooded. Yeah, I mean, high mana source decks like that definitely are a little bit prone to that. You want to try and get to exactly 6 lands, then ideally never draw another. I think we've died, chat. Have any one card draws that can get us back in here. A little bit flooded. I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's run it back. I mean, if your goal is laddering, I think Gruul and Green-White Company are the two best things to be doing at the moment. Oh, I totally missed that the opponent has a number next to their name. They were probably trying to squeeze in one last match to sneak up in there. Did the ladder reset yet? It reset at 2 o'clock, right? So we're 5 minutes past now. It did, yeah. Sorry, Punch. I didn't realize that. Is ketchup a smoothie? No, ketchup is red sugar. That's why my 5-year-old likes it so much. I agree, Psionic. There were a lot of people that complained about Gruul being great despite not getting new cards, but I actually think that that's a sign of a healthy non-rotating format. Non-rotating formats should not be shaken to their core every set release. Ideally non-rotating formats are stable. Huh? Nailed it. Why are the end of season rewards called impacts? Because Arena. Because the season started when Kaldheim was the most recent set, chat. Duh. It makes perfect sense. Charging my Sprite Dragons. Charging them up, chat. Nice, nice. Why do you keep scrying when you always have the perfects on top? It's a good question, really. All right, look at our rewards. Prizes. Prizes. Oh, look. I guess I might use this one in the fall. This is unplayable. 1,000 gold. 5 Kaldheim packs. Listen, chat, this is why I always tell people don't stress out about the ladder. The prizes on the ladder really, you should play the ladder for fun. If you're not, oh yeah. That's the good stuff right there. That's the good stuff. Nailed it. Boo, 20 gems. It's like a 6-full pack. It is. It's like a future pack. Look at all those. Look at all those gems, chat. Don't spend them all in one place. Don't spend them all in one place. Why are the ladder rewards underwhelming for rate? Underwhelming for rate? Because they're technically free. And you can't give away too much for free, chat. And why would they give you money if you give them too much for free? To be fair, like, did anybody, so Runeterra is the only other game that I've played recently. Runeterra's ladder rewards, I think, are literally just cosmetics, if I recall correctly. Does Hearthstone give strong rewards for their ladder? The thing I always tell people, if you're capable of getting to Mythic in Constructed, and you want to grow your collection, you should not be playing on the ladder. You should be playing 1,000 gold entry constructed events. If you're capable of playing at a caliber that gets you to Mythic, you will likely be able to turn a profit there. It's a good way to grow your collection. You don't get the token right away. If I recall correctly, it takes a few days to a week to get the token on your account, telling you that you qualified. Hearthstone gives 5 packs and some gold cards. Gold cards are cosmetics, right? So it gives you basically what Arena does. Correct. That is why you should be playing the ladder. You should play the ladder because you enjoy it. Of course there's not a way to confirm what rank you ended at the end of the season. Well, did you not just hear, like, what are you expecting to define as not underwhelming, Pseudo Pally? So yeah, you get gold and ICRs, which is a lot more than the 6 packs worth of stuff you get for getting to Mythic. Like, a significant amount more. Aren't ICRs just uncommons? No, they're rares and occasionally mythics. Well, I should technically fetch before they mill my island. Yeah, the better you do in the event, the higher the rarity you get. All of our various deal twos looking really awful against their Soaring Thought Thief deck. An arena series, like a series of videos or a series of tournaments, and you're looking to run tournaments or play in tournaments. Series could mean a few different things. Organized tournaments. Yeah, check out MTG Melee. It is, I think it's free to host a TO account there. If I recall correctly. I mean, the blunt answer to why the Magic Arena economy is what it is, Chet, is y'all are addicts and you're gonna play regardless. They ain't gotta make anything more generous or more free, and they know it. They got all of y'all on the hook, and it is what it is. Hey, sounds good, Wargy. Thanks for the bits, I appreciate that. We'll get that up on Monday morning, first thing. Yeah, we're just dead at this point, right? Jeff said as he too dumped hundreds into Arena. hundreds into Arena. All right, little fish, sit down over here on Papa Jeff's lap, and let me tell you a story about dollar amounts you get to spend on Arena. Hundreds of dollars on Magic Arena. oh, baby fish. Technically, thousands are made of hundreds. That's true. That's fair. Thousands are technically made of hundreds. That's a good point. I can tell you exactly how much I've spent on Arena. I got spreadsheets so I can prove it to the IRS, chat. I'm gonna trim an Arcanist and 2 Ops. I think if I'm going down 1 mana spells, less of this is ideal. I have my 2021 spreadsheet up on my monitor here. For 2021, I have spent $1,149.88 for this year. Paladin of IO, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Greedy. If this was a green land, this would be an easy keep. I think we're supposed to mulligan this, right? Because, like, if I use these to hit land drops, I don't have anything to enable this. Yeah, this is much better. I mean, if you play a ton of limited and you don't need cards right when the set releases, you can get pretty complete sets on much cheaper amounts. Yeah, same Trey. If it ain't cube, no thanks. One dumb dino, dum 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 bum bum bum. Hmm. Hmm. So, this game board actually changes the music whenever you play a card from the various guilds. So, like, when they play a Temur card, the music changes. And there's different music for every guild, I believe. Yeah, I think that was related to why this board had sound bugs in the previous patch. Like, Arena's sound design is, like, really good. It's just kind of sparse. I wish there was more to Arena's sound design. It's like my TLDR. Yeah, I agree. I'm sad that the standard boards aren't visible in Historic. Yeah. Alright, you have a fatal push. And then this will get drowned. Oh my gosh, chat. We drew interaction. Oh baby. Oh baby. Alright, 4 turns, chat. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, it's actually 5 turns, because I'm going to target something and then they're going to be able to exile it, which is sad. So, we are technically winning the race, though, so we've got that going for us. So I'll target Cling to Dust here, but they're gonna get to jumpstart it, flash it back, whatever this newfangled zoomer flashback is. I have no idea, Wargy. It's a viewer deck. I assume the answer has to do with something with Klothys being great, would be my assumption. Stormwing's also a little bit clunky. Stormwing's deceptive in its casting cost, right? Like it's a 3-drop. And three's a lot of mana. Oh, we can't race this Lurrus, can we? Alright, so we need to draw a shock here or a stomp. Okay. Sure. Meep. Klothys is much better in this matchup than Stormwing, for example. Sick. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. This card's so good right now. Dino Boy. Dino Boy doing Dino Boy things. Okay. Need something to pair with this, but we've got a lot of draws that do that. Ideally, I don't want to mulligan too much against the Thoughtseize deck. We got 4 in the sideboard of literally every green combo deck I built. Yeah, completely agree. Could not have said it better. I'm gonna fetch right away here before they mill my forest on me. We want to murder the Enforcer here. Does it block Shifting Ceratops? They have another one. I guess they could have a Fatal Push here. One of our 1-mana cantrips. Nailed it. Waited to play the land in case we drew a fast land like this. Goodbye, birdie. Alright, you have double counterspell. Hey, Vidor. Thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Ooh! Oh, Klothys is about to resolve, chat. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Do 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 do. That's a good one, yeah. Okay. So my graveyard's solidly full here, so I want to prioritize Klothys exiling things they could bring back with Cat this game. That's a great draw. They could have Fatal Push here to kill this, but if they don't have it, we're going to close the game out real fast, so let's go. And if they do have it, they have to sacrifice one of these to kill this, which takes some of their pressure off the table. Let me get to exile it again next turn, so sign me up. So long, Dino. I'm gonna play this now while they don't have a removal spell up. No reason to hold this land. Getting a third green into play is good in case we peel another Ceratops. We just gotta tread water here for a little bit. Klothys wears them down. So nothing meaningful to take out of their graveyard, so we'll start grabbing stuff out of mine. In the off chance that that could matter. This isn't a 2-for-1 because, like, they get to sack this to draw a card, but this forces them to sack this to draw a card rather than lose it. To take some of their pressure out of play, which is great for us, and this has Trample, so works out just fine. Even if they have a sweeper here, Klothys is hanging out, grinding them down. Sometimes these decks play Languish out of the sideboard. Alright, do they have 2 blockers or 1? It depends on the build, so people are talking about the Crippling Fear. That is a card they play sometimes. They also play Languish because Languish is better against Gruul on occasion. Again, there's like not 100% standardization. There's a lot of variation. They need Aether Gust to not die to Klothys here. Yep, sweet. I think you have to wait for them to come up in the shop on occasion, OB Winter. You can buy the borderless ones, but not like the full arts. I like this build. Honestly, the more I play with these like perfect pet Stormwing Entity builds, the more I like these better than the Phoenix configurations. The Phoenix decks just feel like they sit there and spin their tires too much, and being able to play out these proactive threats on turn 2 and then like have them do things while I'm spinning my tires felt really super reasonable. I felt like Memory Lapse was kind of whatever in here. I guess it was mostly the matchups we played too. We played a lot of decks that played to the board, but against people that were playing to the board, Lapse was definitely not super exciting. Yeah, I think Phoenix is just like Phoenix's really best draws feel really strong where you like put double birds into play on turn 3, but like even just putting 1 bird into play on turn 3 isn't really powerful when you think about it compared to like what else is going on in this format. Like you put like a couple of birds into play for 3 mana and then like your opponent kills you on their 4th turn. Yeah, so I like this build. If you like Temur tempo-y things, seems like something worth poking at. Klothys continues to be just like an excellent finisher, stabilizer, graveyard hit card in this format, and Abundant Harvest is easily the best cheap card selection in the format, so really great to play that with Dreadhorde Arcanist here. All right, that's going to wrap up